Monday night, he was on the Manningcast, and he was talking about the consistency and level of comfort that he feels within the Eagles' offense. Here's what he said.
It's very settling. You know, it's something that I haven't really experienced since, I say it all the time, since high school with my dad. I've literally had to learn something new every year. And I think coming into my second year as a full-time starter with Coach Sirianni, we've had the opportunity to get on the same page. Obviously, him kind of understanding my ability more and, you know, just going out there and playing.
Okay, so obviously an absolutely spectacular start to this season. But when players do things that most people didn't expect them to do, or at minimum wondered if they could, sometimes some people need to see more. Last week we had all these arguments. Tua, do we need to see more? Obviously that conversation changed around him after what happened on Thursday. Have you seen enough, you personally, from Jalen Hurts, that you say, that's it, he's for real, no more questions asked?
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. And here's why. If you look at the progression of just this season, right, games 1 through 4, I'll start you with of week 2, right? He goes out and he's dynamic not only with his legs, but with his arms. He throws deep balls, he uses his legs, scores 2 more touchdowns. Then they go to play the Commanders. He goes and plays the Commanders. The Commanders play a good defensive game plan. They ask him to beat him or beat them from the pocket. He does it, throws the ball around, I mean, like he is a pocket passer from birth. Then you go move fast forward to Jacksonville. Rain game, ugly game. They start slow, it's ugly. They pin him in, they don't let him run it. It's not a great day to throw the ball. He hands the ball off to Miles Sanders. This is what, he is comfortable in commanding this offense. When you watch players beat you 3 or 4 different ways in 3 or 4 weeks, you go, wow, like this guy's not just have a one-trick pony. He understands what he has to do, and those are the conversations that put you with the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, right? Because, and the Tuas of, you know, before the injury. He's doing things that people didn't expect, but he's doing different things that people just gloss over. He has had a special year to start.
I wonder if his unique path is part of the reason that he's been able to have success, because it's not just him. I know, Jeff, I'm going to say something that's going to make you very happy.
Shock me.
Offensive line is incredible.
Yes, sir.
And that's really helping him. But not only that, they have weapons. And I think part of it is he's comfortable with not trying to put everything on his back. And he understands that the best thing I can do is stay in his pocket, don't run around, don't try to buy time, let them protect it, and get the ball to my guys who I know can make plays. They have a lot of good playmakers. And also, we don't have, if we're down 14, we don't have to get it all back in one series. This defense is going to get me some turnovers. Defense is going to get some stops eventually. It seems like he is someone who's understanding when it's time to take those shots and when you have to kind of chill out and relax. And that comes with maturity. And I think that partially comes from the fact that he played at 2 major college programs. And everyone's been doubting him since he's been in the league.
That's right.
And God bless whoever hates him.
Imagine.
Great
First
hoodie,
of all,
right? Great
moment
hoodie.
for that hoodie. Jalen Hurts, moment for the hoodie. Imagine a quarterback who has an offensive line, has a strong defense, has a run game. The narrative of Jalen Hurts has completely changed. And guess what? He's still the same guy. He literally is still the same player. Yes, he has improved as a quarterback and as a leader, but all the intangibles, all the traits that he had were there in display. But this team is different. And that's why I credit the Eagles. I credit Howie Roseman for going out and giving the kid stuff to work with, because that's why we talk about the Kenny Pickett situation. You can throw them out there, sure. But when the new guy starts looking like the old guy because they don't have enough around him, I feel like that you're doing a disservice to the quarterback.
The A.J. Brown signing will go down as probably the greatest pickup post Jalen Hurts era.
Well, it's his Stephon Diggs, and that's the point. That's the comparison. The Josh Allen is the comparison, because that was an organizational success story. The way they developed a quarterback. We act like Josh Allen, everyone knew he was going to be a superstar. He was the 3rd quarterback taken that year, and now 3 weeks removed from having surgery on his thumb. Yesterday, Jerry Jones was talking about the status of his quarterback. He is not ruling Dak out for the game against the Rams on Sunday. Here's Jerry.
It's better. He's going to go out there every day and make progress toward being able to grip the ball. Considering the location of the injury, I don't know that you could make any more progress.
Is he able to grip the football now?
No, not well enough to play. We're just starting the week. Let's see how the week goes.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing I love more than weekly medical updates from Jerry Jones on the thumb of Dak Prescott. Here's our insider extraordinaire. What do we know about Dak's thumb and the possibility he's on the field against Aaron Donald and company Sunday?
The man can't grip a football yet. Like Jerry said it, and I think it probably pained Jerry to admit that, but that's the truth. If you can't even grip a football, and did we not see Jimmy Garoppolo staring down Aaron Donald? Like Aaron Donald is coming his way. Why would you want that for Dak? I think, first of all, physically he's unable to grip football, so that's why him playing is beyond unlikely. But also, when you look at the opponent that you're facing, I just think it's a recipe for disaster.
Look, I mean, if Cooper Rush has done nothing else, and he's done a lot, he has bought time, right? I mean, he has bought the luxury, something we did not think, Dominique, that the Cowboys would have, which is the luxury of time.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are concerned about how much pressure Cooper Rush playing well puts on Dak, but it really takes the pressure off of him to rush back. We should hope so. I don't understand what it must feel like to be a franchise quarterback for a team and see someone else having that success. I'm sure that drives Dak to want to get back even more, but he needs to understand that right now they got a couple wins in the bank, and the most important thing is that he is healthy for the stretch run, because they're a better team than we thought, in the NFC is a little bit up in the air outside of Philadelphia right now.
That's right. And yet people aren't buying. I got a bone to pick with you Saturday. And I'm going to show everybody. Yesterday, as I was doing the radio show that I do right after this, someone handed me a copy of the new ESPN.com power rankings. And I'm perusing them. Chiefs over the Eagles. I'm not sure I buy that. I'm looking down. Where the heck are the Cowboys? How about my Cowboys? I mean, I told you after week 1 they weren't dead. Now they win 3 straight games, and our power rankings don't even have them in the top 10. Saturday, what gives?
Yeah, listen, they see Cooper Rush, and they're thinking we're not crowning them until they go beat somebody. Listen, who they beat, and again, you can only play who's on your schedule, but when you beat the Commanders, I mean, those aren't teams that are turning heads quite yet. And so for Cooper Rush, the defense has played lights out. The run game has been much better. Kellen Moore's done a fantastic job, but people aren't buying that if they played the teams ahead of them, they would beat them. And again, I'm one of those guys. Now, I would have them in the top 10, but I would not have them in my top 5 or 6 like a lot of people do for that exact same reason. You still have a backup quarterback starting in Dallas, and that is just facts.
Well, I'm just going over the competition here. So the Cowboys were not impressed with them. The Eagles, I have it here. They beat the 85 Bears. They beat the 27
Yankees. To be fair, Greeny has a point. Greeny has a point. Because when you look at the Eagles' schedule, who have they beaten?
I get it. But they're going to still have an easy schedule. They're undefeated.
I don't want to turn this into an Eagles conversation, but I mean, the Eagles have dominated the teams that they've played. Also, the Cowboys.
They were losing 14-0 to Jacksonville on Sunday.
And then from that point forward, it was quite clear. They caused 4 fumbles that they were the superior team. But I think Dallas, the teams that they've beaten, haven't been very impressive. But the way that they beat them, I think, was kind of impressive. And if we are to assume that Dak's going to come back at some high version of himself, I think that we're projecting some of the power ranking, and I have Dallas in my top 5, and it's because I respect.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I respect the defense enough to know that if they can keep Cooper Rush in these games, he can continue to play well, and I believe that Dak's going to come back healthy.
The power rankings, this is what drives me crazy, because I don't think you're not looking at teams equally, because I think if you're going to kill the Cowboys for their schedule, you got to kill the Eagles for their schedule. I think obviously the defense for the Cowboys is what keeps them afloat, but when you saw Dak in week 1, he played against Tampa. Yeah. Like that, that's an upper echelon team, at least right now. So I understand power rankings. I get why we have them, but this is the problem, because we're looking at this team with Cooper Rush.
I mean, comparing them to the Eagles, though, we're saying the top 10. Like the Bengals are in front of them. I think they've had a more impressive start to the season than the Bengals have. Just get them in the top 10.
And the Cowboys are going to add a top 10 quarterback at some point relatively soon to their mix. They're about to get by far the biggest injection of talent that any NFL team is going to get, OBJ or otherwise, and we're going to talk about him a little bit later. They're doing this without their quarterback.
I mean, and the Dolphins are at 5, and they also are without their quarterback right now. So there's some inconsistencies, I think, in this that don't make sense. The Ravens have blown a couple close games. There's the Eagles.
So the Ravens play the Cowboys tomorrow. Who do you pick?
I'm going the Ravens.
Thank you.
That's the issue. Like when I go power rankings, and this is what I ask people all the time. Okay, so the people in front, like, let's play them tomorrow. Who wins the game? And if you go Cowboys, I get it. Push them up in your top 5. He did yesterday, and now he's backing away.
I'm not backing away. They're still in my top